I think. Now it's live. Congratulations, we're live on the internet. Um,
Woohoo!
all 0 people watching this live, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is the end of the month. Hello and welcome to Who Watches Who, a Doctor Who podcast where we are now going to be talking about all of the news in Doctor Who. I am Matthew, and I am joined as always with.
Hello, I'm Scott. Hello.
Wow.
You're doing shark hands. Rawr.
Hello, Scott. Uh, it is somehow already the end of February. We are coming into March. We are coming in to springtime. It's getting sunny outside. It's getting warm again.
Yes.
It's no longer just unbelievably dark and cold and horrible all the time. I struggle to believe the days would ever return, but they're suddenly coming back, and I'm so goddamn thankful.
Thank God. And you know what else is coming back? Doctor Who.
It is coming back, and it is coming back very soon. With the series 2, which is our head news for this month, headline news, I guess, for this month, because it's really the biggest story.
Yes.
Is that series 2 of Doctor Who will be airing April 12th, 2025, which is definitely a release date. I don't really have any qualms with it. It's Doctor Who's good any time of the year, you know.
Yeah, it's an average time for Doctor Who to come out, especially since like 2005. I don't know what I'm saying. 25.
Yes,
Oh God.
but let's read the press release from the BBC announcing this, shall we? Oh, also Alan Cumming is going to guest star as the cartoon character that got all the hype in the trailer, and this is his second Doctor Who appearance. Anyway, let's see what the BBC themselves had to say about this propaganda piece that they released, advertising their own television show. It is time to set your alarms. The Doctor, Ncuti Gatwa, is on his way back to your screens, this time with a new addition to the TARDIS, Belinda Chandra Varada Sethu, sorry, I can't read. Season 2 will officially launch on Saturday, the 12th of April at 8 a.m. on BBC iPlayer and later that day on BBC One in the UK. At the same time, those outside of the UK can watch the Doctor and Belinda on their epic adventures on Disney Plus, where available. And that's not all. Emmy Award winner Alan Cumming will guest star in the second episode as Mr. Ring A Ding. He's a happy, funny, sing-along cartoon who lives in Sunnytown with his friend Sunshine Sally. However, in 1952, after years of repeats in cinemas across the land, Mr. Ring A Ding suddenly looks beyond the screen and sees the real world outside. And the consequences are terrifying. Russell T. Davis said, "Only Alan Cumming could give a runaway cartoon so much wit, malice, danger, and fun. He makes the whole universe of Doctor Who wilder and madder than ever, and it's an absolute honor to welcome him on board the TARDIS." This new season stars Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor, Varada Sethu as Belinda Chandra, and Millie Gibson as Ruby Sunday. Also adventuring through time and space this season are Rose Ayling-Ellis, Anita Dobson, Christopher Chung, Michelle Greenidge, Jonah Hauer-King, Ruth Madeley, Gemma Redgrave, and Susan Twist. There's always a twist at
God.
the end. Wow.
Kill me.
So there's quite a lot to unpack there. We'll just take it as it's written here. 12th of April, 8 a.m., midnight release. In the bin. In the bin with the midnight release.
Is this any better, Phil? Not really, because I'm not awake at 8 a.m. ever, so... And if I am awake at 8 a.m., I'm not awake enough to watch TV. I'm awake enough to, like, doom scroll on Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of the midnight releases. Every now and then, I tried to stay up to watch the midnight releases as they were coming out, and I always found myself kind of delirious watching them.
Yeah.
Especially that finale. I watched the finale when it aired at midnight, and because it's insane and doesn't make sense, I was like half asleep watching it and being like, What am I watching?
Yes.
I don't think this is good, but I can't think coherently to see if it is good or not.
Tell you what, I remember watching Twin Peaks like that. Twin Peaks is like the only show you can watch at 2 a.m. and it's as insane as if you were watching it at 2 p.m. You know, that show is insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 8 a.m. release is fine, I guess. I would still prefer it to be out at tea time
6,
Saturday
7
night.
PM, yeah.
Yeah, but oh well, it's
Nature of streaming.
well, this feel, last time it was an advantage towards Americans getting it at like 4 p.m. or whatever. Now we're getting it like midnight or 3 a.m. if you're living on the East Coast, which is quite late, and Americans won't stay up to watch Doctor Who, I imagine. So
No, but I imagine they'll just watch it on catch up anyway. Maybe
yeah,
there was something in the analytics to suggest that the
yeah,
US don't care about
yeah.
caring, you know.
I don't care enough about the release time. Last year we made a big stink about it. This time I'm just like, I'll watch it
Well,
when I
that's
watch
because
it.
8 a.m. is better than midnight. But yeah, I'll also watch it when I watch it. You get used to the whole streaming situation pretty quickly. You know, I didn't like it, but it just became like every other TV show, where it's like, oh, I'll just watch this, and I use iPlayer all the time, so it's not really a big deal for me. But that is not all. Alan Cumming coming back for his second episode as Mr. Ring a Ding, who is the living cartoon and apparently is coming on board the TARDIS. I don't know. I think Rusty Davis maybe is just speaking in terms of like welcome to the show. But
I don't know, but we'll see.
yeah.
I'm most excited by this episode, but I can imagine it's also going to be a big disappointment, like the Devil's Cord was, which was. The more I think about the Devil's Cord, the more I'm disappointed by it.
I'm disappointed by a lot of things in Series 1 of Doctor Who. I'm going into an open mind with Series 2. I always get excited when new Doctor Who comes in. We've had this since the Jodie era. I convince myself it's going to be good. I trick myself into believing, and I am immensely somehow even more disappointed because it just keeps topping itself and becoming worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. I'm very cautiously optimistic, but I'm not excited at all. If that makes sense. I'm more curious about what's going to happen to this show because we know that it's going to either get renewed by Disney at the end of the season or maybe not get renewed by Disney. I think that's going to be most interesting of all to see where the future of the show lies. Will we have lower budgets in our foreseeable future?
Probably. We probably will be seeing lower budgets, but I think the show will live on in some form or another. That does lead us into our second news story, but before we get there, there was a little thing here about Belinda that you added into the documents. The new companion to the Doctor, who also was in an episode of Doctor Who before. She was in Boom, wasn't it? She
played the character of Monday in Boom.
Yes, the religious lady who was in the army and had to help the Doctor not be exploded. But Russell T Davies made a post. Well, here's the Disney Plus description, about Belinda, the new companion. The Doctor meets Belinda Chandra and begins an epic quest to get her back to Earth. But a mysterious force is stopping their return, and the time-traveling TARDIS team, wow, incredible alliteration, must face great dangers, bigger enemies, and wider terrors than ever before.
It sounds like it's going to be slightly more serialized than the last season.
Yeah, it's like a running adventure of like getting Belinda home and stumbling into different things throughout, you know.
And people got really excited by this description because it suggests the season won't take place on Earth too much, other than Episode 1 is going to be set on Earth. Episode 4 is going to be set on Earth. Episode 7 and 8 are probably going to be set on Earth. I think episode 2 is also set on Earth. So it's most of the episodes still set on Earth because it's Doctor Who. You can't go anywhere other than Earth, apparently.
It's so expensive, you know. But Russell T Davies wrote a caption
Oh, God.
with Verada Sethu saying, "The amazing Verada Sethu, named by Variety as one of their 10 Brits to watch. Congratulations at Verada Sethu, soon to be seen in Doctor Who as Miss Belinda Chandler. Miss? Why Miss? All will be revealed. Coming soon." So this obviously led people to think Missy, didn't it?
Oh, I made up the fan theory of it's going to be Missy because Miss Y. If you add Y at the end of Miss, that spells out Missy.
Miss Y Miss. Yeah.
Which I'm going to be I'm just incredibly disappointed by the fact we have another new companion with another new mystery box.
Yeah.
Just stop it, please. I'm begging you, please.
Yeah, but it won't stop. Everyone needs to be the most important person in the universe. Otherwise, why are they with the You think the Doctor would just pick up a random person and go on an adventure with just no? They need to be the most important person. Are you dying? Are you?
Yes, I am. Yes, I've been ill for like a week.
Nice.
So
it's good radio.
Yes. Yes, it is good radio. It's ASMR. It's hearing Scott's being sick. Yeah, it's awesome.
Stuff. But so
the other day I woke up without a voice, so you're lucky I'm fucking speaking today.
Am I lucky? Is that luck?
Yes.
We were talking about Doctor Who being cancelled forever because the Americans hate it and Disney hates it, and they're not going to renew Series 3 when it comes to the negotiating tables. And this was a report seen by The Sun. Ncuti Gatwa's he's quit the show. He's not coming back. However, the BBC has responded to these ruins, which is pretty, I think, rare for the BBC to actually step in and be like, actually, you're being fucking dumb as shit. So the BBC has assured, this is from the Radio Times, Doctor Who fans that their sci-fi drama has not been cancelled following an incorrect tabloid report. The Sun, which is usually the home to such incredibly detailed, well thought out and accurate reports, stirred up concern that the long-running series was to go dormant again between 5 and 10 years, 5 to 10 years, as it previously did after Sylvester McCoy's final season. And once again, after Paul McGann's 1996 standalone film. The speculation comes after perceived disappointment over Doctor Who's Season 14's viewing figures, although BBC and the showrunner Russell T Davies previously drew attention to the show's strong engagement from younger viewers. The Sun's anonymous source... Anonymous
yes.
source.
Yep.
I'm doing... air quotations, claimed that the star Ncuti Gatwa was eyeing a move to Los Angeles to pursue Hollywood work, and that he had filmed a regeneration sequence for the end of the current run. However, a spokesperson for Doctor Who commented, "The story is incorrect. Doctor Who has not been shelved, as we have previously stated. The decision on Season 3 will be made after Season 2 airs. The deal with Disney Plus was for 26 episodes, and exactly half of those still have to transmit. And as for the rest, we never comment on the Doctor and future storylines." Doctor Who became a co-production between the BBC and the US, starting from the 60th anniversary, with David Tennant coming back. Some fans and pundits have noted that the show is yet to appear on viewership charts by the US rating analyst Nielsen, suggesting that it perhaps hasn't been a breakout hit across the pond. Davey said last year in regards to the show ratings, in coming back, I wanted to make it simpler, I wanted to make it younger. Those two things are often not discussed. You read reactions to it and people are missing that. It's simpler and younger, and it's working. The under 16s and the 16 to 34 audience as well is massive. It's not doing that well in the ratings, but it's doing phenomenally with the younger audience that we wanted. Series 2 is expected to air in May, with Gatwa running alongside Boom's Verada Sethu as the new companion, and former co-star Millie Gibson. So again, a lot to unpack in that even I think probably the most interesting thing from it for me is the possibility of Ncuti leaving still seems like it
Hmm.
could happen.
Yes, that is a possibility,
Yeah,
which
it's
would
like
be fucking depressing because I still don't feel like he's fully the Doctor yet. I still feel like there's a lot for him to explore in the character, and it would be a shame if he were to leave in 8 episodes' time. That would be so depressing.
that would be a big shame for sure. I do think that Doctor Who nabbed him the second
Yeah.
before he was about to
Yep.
explode into the mainstream. Like like
Yes.
his roles from Sex Education into Barbie into whatever the fuck else he's been in since then. Like he was just kind of getting all over the place. He did all those variety photo shoots and modeling and things, and it was like, and then he's the Doctor. They got him. It's a
Yeah. Yeah.
huge fucking get for them. And I think he's pretty good as the Doctor. I really enjoy him as the Doctor. I definitely like. For me, he started to feel more like the Doctor in Boom, but I do
Hmm.
think, as we've discussed on the show many times before, Moffat and Davis kind of have two different versions of the 15th Doctor. Yeah,
Yes, 15.
yeah,
It's still something that trips me up as well.
yeah. And I prefer Moffat's version, but if he leaves, he leaves. I think it would make sense if he did leave because I do think he's probably going to become a massive fucking star. He is an
Hmm.
incredible actor. But I would like at least another season. Do the classic 3 series run. Why why you in a rush? Chill out.
I mean, if he were to stick on, it would be probably another 2 seasons because I think the way they're going to do it from now on is doing them back to back, which makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, there's going to be a big gap possibly
Yeah.
between season 2 and season 3. So
Which
we were
yeah.
promised, Doctor Who every single year.
No
There's not going to be
gaps.
any gap years. And now all of a sudden, hey, maybe Doctor Who won't film by the end of the year,
Yeah.
which. I guess we will be getting the war between the land and the sea next year,
Oh
but
god.
it's not the same, is it?
Banger of a show that'll be. It's I think it's interesting, or just I guess like how bold Russell T Davis was in being like every
Yeah,
year there will be Doctor. It's a gamble. That's a hell of a statement to
yeah.
make. And I respect him for having that dream. You got to try and manifest it. Also saying down here, Russell T Davis last year saying that he wanted to make the show simpler and to make it younger. I I don't know if it's simpler. I feel like it's more
No,
complicated than it was, more convoluted even than it was.
it's definitely not simpler. Even if you go to, you can't even say it's a good starting off point because it keeps on calling back to multiple old episodes. It's had like 3 episodes that are direct sequels already. It's confusing.
Yeah, I still the best place to start Doctor Who is Eccleston's run. That's really
Yes.
that's the best place out of I think anywhere in Doctor Who.
Even Matt Smith's run is,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
even yeah, even Jodie's run. Like there's multiple good soft reboots in the
Sure.
show's run
Yeah.
so far,
Yeah.
but
Peter Capaldi's last run. His last series.
yeah, I can't say whether or not Disney will renew the deal because Disney are kind of in favor of Donald Trump's politics, and I think
Well,
like they
they're in
had a
favor of
Pixar
whoever's in
show.
charge.
Yeah, but they had a Pixar show. They removed a trans character from a Pixar show. I'm just wondering if Russell T Davis saw that and is thinking, "Hey, maybe we don't want to partner with people wanting to silence
Hmm.
LGBTQ voices." I don't know.
Maybe. I
It'll be
don't
very
know. It's
interesting.
Yeah, it'll be a place where, personal politics and business, I think, have to come head to head because Disney is it's the second biggest streaming service. Honestly, I think Netflix might be a better home for Doctor Who than Disney is. It feels, I think, better on Netflix than Disney, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's where a lot of Americans first found Doctor Who in the first place. In the late like 2008, 2009. It was on Netflix. So
It was on Netflix here in the UK for absolute
yeah.
years before the BBC was like, wait a minute, we have iPlayer, and
Yeah.
decided to stick everything on iPlayer. And I remember when I was watching Netflix rewatching Doctor Who as a teenager. I was watching it on
Mhm.
Netflix, and I was really
Yeah.
like, there was a huge uproar here the first time that they wanted to get Doctor Who off Netflix. And people were
Yeah.
like, no, you got to save Doctor Who, keep it on Netflix. And they kept it on for like another year or something like that. But, like,
God.
it's the place to be.
I'm feeling nostalgic for the days where Netflix was just the one streaming service you
Oh my
had.
god, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think there was a few others around this point, but it was really just Netflix for all the big stuff.
And it was
Just,
good.
it was, yes. And now it's like almost 20 quid a month with less good stuff on it. It's getting pretty bad.
It's still, I think, probably one of the better ones, though. Like,
Yeah.
Paramount Plus is pretty terrible. Disney Plus is pretty terrible. Amazon Prime, surprisingly good. Not so
It's
much
all
for
right.
TV shows, but if I'm going to watch a movie, I tend to go to Prime more than anything else. But I think they're all pretty bad, to be fair.
Yeah.
They just feel gross. They feel corporate and gross now. You know, everyone's got their fingers in the pies.
Yeah, it's the business is fucking depressing now.
Do you want to take this next story so I can rest my weary voice?
Yes, we got confirmation of the new writers. This was from the end of January. We're kind of late on this, but hey, the TARDIS is about to get a whole lot bigger according to the official Doctor Who website. I think it's the official Doctor Who website. It is, yes. 4 writers have stepped on board to the TARDIS for the upcoming series of Doctor Who coming in 2025, joining Russell T Davies. Four writers across 8 episodes. That's a lot better than last time when it was just Russell T Davies. Russell T Davies, Russell T Davies. 2 new writers. Russell T Davies, Russell T Davies. Russell T Davies, the showrunner, says Doctor Who takes its talent from a glittering galaxy of names, and these extraordinary writers span the skies. We've got old hands, new stars, voices from theatre, radio, and literature. The whole works. It's the most wild and exciting season of Doctor Who yet. Fuck off, Russell. Stop saying that. Stop overhyping things. I understand it's your job. But can we stop saying, "Oh, this is going to be the best yet"?
Every season's the best season. Everything is new. Everything's the wildest it's ever been. Everything's crazy and wacky and the most awesome you've never seen before. You know.
It's getting really tiring. But our first writer is Juno Dawson, who is a #1 Sunday Times best-selling novelist, screenwriter, and journalist whose books include the global bestsellers This Book is Gay and Her Majesty's Royal Coven. Dawson created the first official Doctor Who scripted podcast, Doctor Who Redacted, which I still haven't listened to. Have you?
I haven't listened to it either. I do own, I think, a Juno Dawson Doctor Who book.
Yeah, she wrote The Good Doctor, which was like one of the only 13th Doctor novels.
Yes, I think I
haven't
read it. I own it.
Yeah. That's what you do with books. Yeah, you just keep it in the...
Put them on the shelf.
Yes. Juno says, I started watching Doctor Who with my grandma when I was 10 years old in the 1990s, from writing fan fiction for an audience of 1 to scripting the best TV show of all time is truly a dream come true. I can't wait for fans and newcomers to see the new season. Cool boy. Our second writer is Inua Allums, which I think, I hope I pronounced. Yeah. Who is a writer and curator whose published books of poetry includes Candy Coated Unicorns and Converse All Stars and The Actual. His first play, The 14th Tale, was awarded a Fringe Fest at the Edinburgh International Theatre Festival, and the other plays include Barbershop Chronicles, which played at the National Theatre, Three Sisters, and The Half God of Rainfall. To be fair, I haven't
Not
heard of a single one of
I've
those.
not heard of any of these. So. But I might call
He said, Inua said, for as long as I can remember television, I've been a Doctor Who fan. I started watching when I was 10 in Nigeria. The show invited me to dream, to live beyond my reality. Getting to write for the show felt like touching God. It was blasphemously humbling and exciting. I can't wait to share my story with the world. Our third writer is Pete McTighe, who will already be known to fans as he wrote the 13th Doctor episodes,
Interesting.
Kerblam and Praxius with Chris Chibnall.
Interesting.
Kerblam is alright.
Kerblam
Kerblam is okay.
Until the end. Praxius is
Yeah.
fucking dog shit.
Well, I'm glad I chose Kerblam to review next month rather than Praxius. He is a writer and executive producer in the forthcoming spin-off, The War Between the Land and the Sea. They really fucking need to shorten that title.
It's bad.
And he has created, written, or executive produced dramas including The Pact from BBC, The Rising on Sky, and A Discovery of Witches on HBO, and Wentworth on Fox. Pete says, the TARDIS is my home away from home, so it's been a joy to step back inside with Russell at the console and the incredible team at Bad Wolf hanging on for dear life. I love this show with all my heart, and I'm really proud of what we've been able to achieve with my next episode. And our final writer is Sharma Angel Walfall, who originally hails from Manchester and won the inaugural Channel 4 New Writing Award that set her off on her screenwriting journey. She wrote an episode of Dreamland for Sky starring Lily Allen and Freema Agyeman, and she has been in a number of writers' room, including Supercell on Netflix, Renegade Now on Disney+, A Town Called Malice on Sky, and Noughts and Crosses on BBC. Sharma says, I am buzzing to be part of such an iconic show. I am a massive Russell T Davies fan, so it is a dream come true to be able to work alongside him, especially on a show that I love. It's a real privilege to be part of a Doctor Who family. I have loved every minute. So yeah, our new 4 writers.
Yeah, interesting. I'm interested to see what they bring. I'm really interested in the Juno Dawson episode, just because she's probably the name I'm most familiar with. I'm probably most cautious about the Pete McTighe episode because his Doctor Who resume isn't incredible, but you know. I we'll see. New Blood is good. New Blood is good. The poet / playwright that'll be an interesting one as well. And the Netflix writer Channel 4 lady. Sure, why not? Let's see.
Yeah,
Let's see.
yeah.
Anybody
these sounds
Anybody
like
else?
good choices, and I'm glad most of these are like brand new or roughly brand new to television. They've had credits before, but they've not really like broken through to like an international audience before. So,
To be
hey.
fair, neither's
True. I'm probably most excited about the Inua Alums episode because I think when Ncuti Gatwa was first offered the role, one of his like interview rounds, he said he really wanted an episode focused in on the history of Nigeria or something along those lines. So maybe this is the episode that Ncuti Gatwa wanted.
Perhaps. And speaking of people returning or coming back to the show for the first ever time, like that writer who wrote Praxius is coming back. Rose is also coming back. What a flawless transition. In Big Finish, the 9th Doctor and Rose return. So this is kind of what we've been asking for since we started this podcast.
Yes.
As we started this podcast, the first thing we ever covered was Christopher Eccleston's Big Finish audio drama, his first one, and I think one of the first things we said was, how does this work? We need Rose.
Yeah.
So this is the press release here. So it's only taken like what, 4 years? 3 years? Something crazy.
Yeah, 4 years. 4 years of this podcast, 4 years since Eccleston came back. Crazy.
So from Big Finish here, the Doctor and Rose want you to come with them. All right. Back to
Okay.
Powell Estate, where the Doctor's past returns to haunt him, and out in the universe where enemies old and new are waiting. In 2005, Christopher Eccleston and Billie Piper as the Ninth Doctor and Rose Tyler took a whole new generation of Doctor Who fans on the trip of a lifetime into time and space. 20 years later, the trip continues, as they're set to star in a brand new series of 12-hour-long full-cast audio adventures due to be released from August 2025.
Bless you.
Thank you. Christopher Eccleston said, "I am so happy to be back recording more adventures for the Ninth Doctor with Billie. I don't think my Doctor exists without Rose. He's a one-man, one-companion kind of alien. We've explored him on his own at Big Finish as a loner, but there's a resilience and a bravery and a deep empathy to Billie as Rose. That's why I do this. They complete each other." Billie Piper added, "I can't think of a better time for Rose to reunite with her first Doctor than now, 20 years after she first ran into the TARDIS and towards her adventure. Here we are again, me and Chris, ready to have fun, facing the universe and the monsters together." Producer Matt Fitton said, 20 years after the Ninth Doctor and Rose burst onto our screen, Christopher Eccleston and Billie Piper are back with that brilliant dynamic, the Doctor showing Rose the universe and Rose showing him the best of humanity. Across 12 episodes, slotting neatly into that 2005 series, so it's canon, I guess, to the 2005 series, if it fits in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's trying to be canon.
It's as canon as Big Finish can get. We have more
Yeah.
Jackie Tyler, more Powell Estate, plus friends and enemies old and new through time and space. Our writers have done an amazing job recapturing the spirit of that very special season, and Chris and Billie have embraced these scripts with a delight and gusto. They're having a blast, back on that trip of a lifetime, and they sound fantastic. I hope they capture the spirit of the first series, because I really like that first series of Doctor Who. It's a really...
It's still like one of the best first seasons of television, I would reckon. It's not flawless, but it's really fucking solid and selling you what Doctor Who fucking is. You know, every episode feels important in that first season.
Every episode feels important and introduces something about the show. You know,
Yes.
You got the human element, the time travel to the future, time travel to the past, you know, some spooky horror stuff going on, some bigger drama happening throughout. It's a fucking phenomenal time. Very, very good series of television, and the best starting place for Doctor Who. 12 one-hour episodes is pretty cool. That's like a full, just regular series of TV.
Yeah, this is going to be series 1.5, my dude.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll be able to listen to it. I'd like to, just because it's what we've been waiting for such a long time, you know.
And this comes out the month after the Jodie Whittaker box set, the first box set of hers. So it's going to be interesting to hear. I'm not going to say it, but I hope I can listen to both box sets. I know the Jodie Whittaker Master series just came out, and the Fugitive Doctor series just came out. Apparently, they're okay, but hey, there's a lot of Big Finish. One thing I would say that is better about this release is you can buy episodes individually, which is something we've been screaming for a long time with these Christopher Eccleston box sets, because we stopped covering them just because there was always one really good episode in the box set, and the other two were just kind of bland and forgettable. Whereas it should have been sold separately. $9.99 per episode is kind of insane for oof.
That's pricey for 12 episodes. That's a lot. Yeah, but hey, Big Finish has never been cheap. They've always been on the more expensive end.
Yep. But hey, I'm excited. I'm just hoping it fits. I'm just hoping it's to the quality of like series 1, and I'm hoping that there's not too many inconsistencies to the point where it feels like fan fiction. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, I hope so. But in other news, Russell T Davies is a busy boy when he doesn't
Yes, he
have to
is.
write Doctor Who. And he is returning to Channel 4 with a brand new drama called Tiptoe. I used to walk into rooms and go, ta-da! Now I'm on the tiptoe in case I get seen. This is from the Channel 4's press release. Channel 4 has commissioned a powerfully resonant new original drama, Tiptoe, from the multi-award-winning Russell T Davies. It's a Sin, Queer as Folk, Doctor Who. Produced by Quay Street Productions, part of ITV Studios, and executive produced by Nicola Schindler, Queer as Folk, It's a Sin, Fool Me Once. The series will be directed by Peter Hoare from It's a Sin, The Last of Us, and Nolly. Russell T Davies' most recent Channel 4 drama was the extraordinary and critically acclaimed It's a Sin, which powerfully examined the devastating human story behind the 1980s AIDS crisis and went on to become Channel 4's biggest ever instant box set on streaming. That's such a specific achievement. Now, in Tiptoe, Davies will explore the most corrosive forces facing the LGBTQ plus community today, examining the danger as prejudice creeps back into our lives. Problems we thought were long gone are returning, toughened and weaponized until no one knows truth from lies anymore. God, I'm so gassy today, sorry. The 5-part series will follow Leo and Clive, who live next door to each other in Manchester. Leo runs a bar on Canal Street. Clive's an electrician with 2 teenage sons. But just as life should be settling down, the world around them is growing more tense. Words become weapons, opinions become radicalized, and gradually 2 neighbors become deadly enemies in a tense suburban thriller which challenges everything we consider to be safe. The series, populated with a cast of vibrant characters and underscored with Davies' trademark wit and deft humor, is an urgent yet gripping tale that brings a spotlight to bear on the re-emergence of an incipient threat. 25 years later, the team behind the groundbreaking Queer as Folk are returning to Manchester and Canal Street with this vital story that speaks not just to the queer community, but to the world today. Davies, writer and creator, said, "It is my honor to combine my old home, Channel 4, with my second home, Canal Street. This is a show I had to write because the world is getting stranger, tougher, and darker, and frankly, the fight is on." Nicola Schindler, an executive producer, said, "I am so pleased to be back working with Russell at Channel 4 and to be given the chance to tell such an important story. Tiptoe's not just a timely drama, but a captivating story shot through Russell's brilliant wit, warmth, and devastating poignancy." Ollie Madden, the director of Film 4 and Channel 4 drama, said, "It is a huge privilege to back this remarkable new series from Russell, one of the greatest writers of our time, and the man behind some of the most era-defining hits, including Queer as Folk and It's a Sin. We couldn't love Tiptoe more. It is funny, gripping, full of heart, and an urgent call to arms. It perfectly represents what we're about at Channel 4, and we are beyond thrilled to be working with Nicola, Russell, and Peter again on this very special show." And then it goes on to talk about production stuff and studios and things. So it's like a pseudo sequel to Queer as Folk, without it's like set on the same street or whatever. I've never seen Queer as Folk, but
I've not seen any of Russell T Davies's queer dramas. I know he's written like 6 or 7 at this point. There's a lot of them. I really need to sink my teeth into some of these because I think Russell T Davies is at his best when he's writing these kind of politically charged kind of stories. This is obviously coming from a place of what's happening in the world in terms of politics, really.
yeah.
So I like Russell T Davies when he has a bit of a bite. I think his last season of Doctor Who was a bit too safe. I feel like politics. I feel like he's just really good at writing politics.
Yeah, I think so. And I watched a couple episodes of It's a Sin. It was a very good time, but I think I just got distracted and I never continued it.
Yeah. It's a Sin has always been on my watch list, but it's incredibly heavy because I know at the end of it I'm going to be a complete wreck. So it's something I keep putting off, even though I probably need to see it.
Yeah, from what I saw, it was good. I don't know if I'm going to necessarily watch this show either. I don't have infinite time to watch infinite shows as much as I would like to be. And this just, if I hear like exceptional things, then I will probably check it out, or if it's not too long, then I will check it out. It's one of the things I really enjoyed. Stephen Moffat's Douglas is Cancelled, which I had like no expectations for and thought was going to be, terrible or whatever. But then it was like 4 episodes and they just kind of all dropped at once. And then I heard it was pretty good and I was like, fuck it. I've got a free evening. I can just watch this. And it was super chill.
Yeah.
It was a really good time. It was a really good show.
I still need to watch that. Again, there's just too much TV. It's never ending. But yeah, I'll probably check out Tiptoe. I'll probably give it a recommendation. I'll probably give like a light review on the podcast when we get around to it. But I'm glad that Russell T Davies is still writing this stuff. He's really good at writing. It's not just going to be Doctor, because he is an old man. I'm glad it's not just Doctor Who until the end of his life. I'm glad he's still able to write what he's passionate about in terms of what is like charging him at the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm happy for him as well. Do you want to take this next story?
Yes, a bit of sad news for the industry, really. This is kind of depressing. Former Doctor Who VFX studio shuts down, and this is from Cultbox. VFX studio The Mill was put in the administration and shut down after 35 years when its parent company, Technicolor Creative Studios UK Limited, filed for administration on February 24th, 2025. The Mill was the company responsible for a VFX of around 150 episodes of Doctor Who, The Sarah Jane Adventures, and Torchwood until 2013. The same year, a group of artists and producers from the Mill's TV department formed their own company, Milk VFX. Milk. The post-production and visual effects company launched in 1990, along with providing visual effects. They designed for the Doctor Who title sequence and introduced the first 2005 Doctor Who story, Rose, which we're covering very soon, in fact.
Yeah.
Let me see. There's a tweet from this guy, Oliver Chenery, who says, I lost my job after 2 years of working at the Mill as a compositor today. He is devastated. According to the letter from the Technicolor group to their team, the group has been experiencing difficulties linked to a variety of factors, including the difficult operational situation resulting from post-COVID recovery, a costly and complex separation from the previous groups, followed by a writer strike, leading to a slowdown in customer orders, causing severe cash flow pressures. So this is really fucking sad, because when Doctor Who came back, it was groundbreaking special effects for British television. Like, holy shit, some of those effects still hold up really fucking well. So it's sad to see this company close down, and a lot of people losing out on their jobs, which is depressing.
It is. It's not nice news whenever anything shuts down or anybody loses any sort of job. And it sucks. I hope that whoever lost their job, whoever got fired, they go on to make their own studio, but with blackjack and hookers, and have a good time,
Yeah.
So, Doctor Who Season 7 is the
Yes, we're looking at the
installment.
next month. Yeah, we're looking at the releases coming out next month.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, as we move into our final segment of the news this month, we are seeing what is coming out in March. And Season 7 is the next installment of Doctor Who The Collection Blu-rays. This is Jon Pertwee's debut season as the Third Doctor and will be the next to join the Blu-ray collection. Fans can continue to build their home archive on Blu-ray with a 7-disc box set of Season 7 starring Jon Pertwee as the Third Doctor and Caroline John as companion Liz Shaw, containing 4 classic stories. This limited edition set is also packed with hours of new and exclusive materials. This is the big silver box Blu-rays with the old Doctor Who logo from Jodie's era.
Well, the Jodie Whittaker run, yeah.
That they're keeping because otherwise their Blu-rays won't match, and it's taking them too long to
Yeah.
get everything out. In his debut season, the Third Doctor is exiled to Earth, teaming up with units Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart, Nicholas Courtney, and scientist Liz Shaw, Caroline John, to confront alien invasions and threats from our own planet's primeval past. All episodes are newly remastered from the best available sources. Please check out the extras below. So, the extras in these Blu-rays is always immense and overwhelming, so I'm just going to talk and read like 15 bullet points here. 4 brand new documentaries. That's 4 documentaries, including Splendid Chap, a profile of beloved Brigadier actor Nicholas Courtney, Looking for Mac, uncovering the story of writer Malcolm Hulke, Terror of the Suburbs, looking at when the Doctor Who came down to Earth, and Lucky 13, Rockets, Aliens, and Spare Parts, how the science of the day influenced Doctor Who. Then there's Behind the Sofa, new episodes with Katie Manning, Matthew Warhouse, Janet Fielding, Sarah Sutton, Sophie Aldred, and presenter Tony Haddock as the late Caroline John's family, husband Jeffrey Beavers, and daughter Daisy Ashford. In Conversation, Matthew Sweet chats to John Levine, who played Unit Sergeant Benton, about his life and career. The Doctor Who Escape Room. Will Team Third Doctor escape the Room of Doom? Movie-length omnibus editions of Doctor Who and the Silurians and Inferno, exclusive convention footage, HD photo galleries, behind-the-scenes information and trivia on every episode, and a PDF archive of scripts, costume designs, rare BBC production files, and other rarities. This 7-disc box also includes hours of special features previously released on DVD, including documentaries, featurettes, audio commentaries, and more. It includes the following stories from 1970, Spearhead from Space, Doctor Who and the Silurians, The Ambassadors of Death, and Inferno. Hell of a collection, a very nice looking box. I don't own a single one of these Blu-ray Classic Who collections. I'm somewhat tempted to start collecting them, but they are very pricey. Although for what you get for the price, I think it's pretty justified. You know?
Yeah, this is, £55, and it's got hours worth of new material for Blu-ray. That's worth it, I would say. Like, these documentaries they put into these Blu-rays are incredible, and you get the episodes in high definition, and they look pretty decent. Like some episodes get remastered to 5.1 surround sound. There's a load of work that gets put into these box sets. Back in the 80s, you used to buy these episodes on video. It'd be like one story for like 30 quid in the 80s.
Yeah.
Insane. Like, compare that to inflation, that's like £60 nowadays. That's a huge difference. And VHS as well, like the lowest possible quality. So I think we are lucky as Doctor Who fans to get so much love and dedication towards this show. Always. It's really good. It is a shame that these are limited edition because they're the older ones I can't get. I'd love to have all of them. It's annoying.
You can find them secondhand, I'm sure, but probably
but if they are
maybe or damaged of some kind, But yeah. Well. Who knows? Somebody will sell them as a complete set one day, I'm sure. Do you want to take this next story? I'm going to refill my glass.
Yes. We also, another DVD release coming out next month is the missing Doctor Who story, The Savages. It returns as an animation. The first Doctor adventure and farewell outing for companion Stephen Taylor gets a home release in 2025. The Savages, a 4-part adventure from the Whoniverse, will be released as an animation on DVD and Blu-ray in spring 2025. This first Doctor story, originally broadcast between May and June 1966, will also be available as a limited edition Blu-ray Steelbook. In The Savages, the Doctor and his travelling companions, Stephen and Dodo, arrive on the unnamed planet where they encounter 2 distinct people, the Elders and the Savages. They soon discover the Elders are the evil, draining their primitive savages for their life source to remain young and powerful forever. This story marks the final regular appearance of Purvis as Stephen, As the original master recordings are lost due to BBC's historic policy of wiping content after transmission, BBC Studios has used the original audio of all 4 episodes and worked with a team of animators to bring back this long lost story for fans. And the cover is fucking horrific.
It's terrible. Yeah, I recommend people go out and look up this cover because it looks really, really bad. Also,
But if you scroll down, there's a really fucking great steelbook cover, which is far better.
yeah, the steelbook cover is incredible. Honestly, gee whiz, you got the TARDIS like with the cave.
Like the fucking difference of quality.
That's insane. To get the steelbook, it's beautiful. I think this is interesting. The title of the story, The Savages, and the description of it is so extremely 1960s.
Yes.
But
this is not a story I've listened to before because it's hard for me to consume these older episodes that are not in existence anymore. So, and the animation itself doesn't look the best. So I'm curious in how this one will translate.
I'm sure it will be mostly boring, like a lot of the animated First Doctor stories, you know. But yeah, I really like that steelbook though. I kind of want that as a poster. It's beautiful. God damn. So next up, there's a lot of First Doctor stuff happening. We have got Penguin book release, or audio book release here with Doctor Who, Agent of the Daleks. Maureen O'Brien reads this thrilling adventure for the First Doctor, Stephen and Vicky, as they once again face the Daleks. On a radioactive moon on the outskirts of the Fourth Sector, the occupants of a besieged power station try desperately to hold the Daleks at bay. To this end, they have apprehended a saboteur, spy, and traitor to the human race. His name is Stephen Taylor. When the Doctor, Vicky, and Stephen first landed on the station, they little suspected the chain of events that would lead to Stephen's arrest. Now he must convince a young nurse, Chayla, and the station's brutal security chief, Finn, that his intentions are honorable. But with every second wasted, the Daleks are gaining ground. With the Doctor and Vicky seemingly powerless in the TARDIS, Stephen must prove once and for all that he is not an agent of the Daleks. Can anything be done to prevent the Doctor's old enemies totally exterminating everyone on the station? Maureen O'Brien, who played Vicky in the BBC TV series, reads this brand new story from Steve Lyons, whilst Nicholas Briggs supplies the authentic voices of the Daleks, because he just can't help himself. He's everywhere.
I know. This story sounds pretty decent, honestly. I love a little bit of intrigue in terms of Stephen is getting arrested and has to prove he's not working with the Daleks, etc. I always love a little bit like spy drama going on there. It sounds fun. I probably won't check this out, but it sounds fun.
Yeah, I don't have enough time in the entire world to check this out, but it does sound fun. It does sound like it would be a good time. You are correct. And I'm glad it exists. Who knows? You want to take this last one then? Or we'll start.
Yes, So Big Finish, of course. We always talk about Big Finish, and we always talk about how much money we would have to spend in order to fucking listen to all of this. Our first Big Finish release from March 2025 is The Death and Life of River Song Series 2, Ace and Tegan. It's always Ace and Tegan coming back ever since the Power of the Doctor. Yeah. Why do they always come back? Just why not pick it from a new companion set? I don't know. It's weird. Yeah. Ace and Tegan have been plucked from their 21st century lives and stranded in 1860, but who is responsible and why is River Song mixing in 19th century society too? Someone is out to eliminate the three of them, as Ace and Tegan realize that this may not be their first meeting with River. Their lives are entangled, and to escape, somebody must pay the ultimate price. And we have 4 stories here, so that's decent value for your bucks, for your money. I don't know why I'm on the American site, because I have my VPN set to America. Okay. I don't know how much this cost £22.99. That's not bad for 4 stories. That's just a little over £5 per story. That's £5 per hour. That's not bad when you
Sure.
consider it like that.
Yeah,
Not
that's
too
not bad at all.
bad.
It's not bad at all.
Compared to the £9.99 for one
Yeah,
Christopher Eccleston story with
yeah.
Rose.
I wonder
This is
if
half price.
that's just to cover like the price of Eccleston. You know, like maybe
Yeah, I
Eccleston's
don't
story is
know.
more expensive because he demands a higher paycheck. Um,
But I've not listened to a single River Song audio drama. I want to, but so I probably won't listen to this
too
anytime
much.
soon.
Yeah, it's going to be the recurring theme because there's just too much.
Yep.
The next story is Doctor Who Genesis of the Cybermen, which is available in March 2025, of course. A king lies dying in his castle. His eldest son, Prince Sylvan, is an artist with no desire to inherit a kingdom, while Prince Dega toils in his laboratory, dedicated to saving their dying people from extinction. They will all burn unless he succeeds. When the TARDIS arrives, its crew believes they can help, but this planet is Mondas, and this is the genesis of the Cybermen. Which, cool. Cyberman story. Peter Davison. Who doesn't like that?
Well, this is the genesis of the Cybermen, which is written
Yeah.
by Jerry Davis, who is the original creator of the Cybermen. I think this is. I could be mistaken here. I'm going to go to backstage. Jerry Davis is this is from David Mahoney, who is like a producer and director for the story, and Jerry Davis's ideas about their origin never made it onto TV. So it's a total pleasure to bring this story to life with Peter Davison's Doctor, setting it pre-Earthshock, gives it the feel of a brilliant prequel and the impending Cyberman stories that we all know and love. So I think this is like taking excerpts of the original draft of the Genesis of the Cybermen and basically expanding it into a full story, which is all right. I'm
Yeah,
happy,
sounds cool. Sounds
but
cool.
spare parts already fucking exists, which is already the Genesis of a Dalek of a Cyberman. Sorry, so I don't know why we're doing this again. It feels a bit derivative, but hey, it's Doctor Who. It's always repetitive.
Yeah, yeah.
Coming up next, we have the third box set in Susan's War. This is 2 stories this time, which is £12.99. That's not too bad. This is called Grandfather Time, and from the cover we can see a very young John Hurt. So John Hurt is back as Jonathan Carley. Gallifrey is using the skills of every Time Lord at their disposal, and the Cardinal Rasmus is not above bending the rules to gain an agent from the future. Susan is assigned alongside the War Doctor to keep him in line, but if he is no longer the Doctor, is he still her grandfather? Um, how do you feel about this?
Interesting pairing, I guess. I'm glad Susan and is doing something. You know that they're doing
Yeah.
something with the character, and that Caroline Ford is back. I really just kind of do you remember when they teased Susan in series 1 with Shooty. I remember they really
Of
felt
course.
like Susan's coming back, and then they did nothing with it. God damn, that was annoying.
Yeah, that was really cool. I love this constant teasing of things
Yeah.
that fans really fucking want, and they never really get around to it. It's fucking sick. I
Yeah, it's
love
really
it.
cool. But yeah, I got no big deals with this. I think it's interesting to bring her back in the context of the Time War, and it does make sense
Yeah.
in that, you know, if you're using every Time Lord,
Yeah.
she's a Time Lord, which is something that I don't
Yeah.
think they really ever talk about in the show. And
No.
it's such like a what if thing, you know?
Like it's so bizarre. She's like a character from before they even figured out what a Time Lord is. Before they even figured out they can regenerate. It's so bizarre. Like, can Susan regenerate? We don't fucking know. It's so
I
weird.
think so. But how would you feel if they regenerated Susan on the show?
I wouldn't mind it. It depends on how good the new actress is and how good the chemistry is with whoever's playing the Doctor. You could do it really well, or it could go horribly wrong. I don't mind the idea in theory.
I'm
It
open
just
to the
depends.
idea. Yeah, yeah. Although it's kind of a big character to stick with the Doctor.
Yeah.
You know. But anyway, our next release is a Torchwood release, and it's called Rictus. 1901. 6 months after the death of Queen Victoria, her gung-ho daughter, Princess Beatrice, goes to visit the organization she's inherited. What is Torchwood? Meanwhile, something has broken out of a vault deep beneath London. The Smiling Man is coming. So this is written by
A lot of
James
people
Goss
coming.
and starring Fenella Woolgar as Princess Beatrice, Rachel Atkins as Lady Saxford, Hugh Fraser as Mr. Cassingham, and Sid Segar as Anson. Very small cast. It does feature a Zygon on the photo, but there was no mention of Zygons in the description there. So.
Is the Zygon the Smiling Man?
Probably.
I guess we'll have to listen to find
He's
out.
smiling in the photo, so.
It's always weird when they do Torchwood without any of the main characters from Torchwood. It feels like it's just compensating for the fact that they no longer have access to the whole cast of Torchwood, either because they're too busy.
Just using the Torchwood's name, you know.
Yeah, it's just using the Torchwood name because they committed to the idea of releasing one Torchwood every single month.
Yeah, but hey, it lives on. It lives on.
Our next one is Doctor Who, The Fourth Doctor Adventures, Series 14, The Hellwood Inheritance. This has 2 stories, The Hellwood Inheritance by Alan Barnes, which is 4 parts. When the Doctor and Leela are chased through the countryside by a headless knight, it's only the start of their problems, because they are in the grounds of Hellwood Manor, and the first safari park for ghosts. Okay. Mistaken for paraphysical investigators, the TARDIS team are showing the mysterious ghost catcher device that's made the whole scheme possible. Is this just Ghostbusters? But it really can't be catching ghosts, can it? What's really happening in Hellwood? Okay, the second story is The Memory Thieves by Paul Mulrine, which is 2 parts. The colony world of New Pastifia was peaceful for many years, but the strange electric pulses started to be detected in its forests. And then they started to get stronger. And then people lost their memories. The Doctor and Leela land in a community in turmoil, doomed to insanity by the mysterious Abiants, unless the TARDIS crew can save them. But with reports of monsters being seen in the locality, this may prove harder than expected. Can they rescue the minds of the colonists? Or will they forget what they have to do? Ooh. Please note, this collector's edition CD box set is strictly limited to 1,500 copies.
Wow.
Gotta get on it fast, my dude.
If you want it on CD, you can listen to it unlimited on digital. So the last release in March for Big Finish is the Paternoster Gang Trespassers for the Last Stand. This is 3 stories. In Victorian England, the great detective Madame Vastra, her resourceful spouse Jenny Flint, and their loyal valet Strax solve conundrums, fight injustice, and capture criminals. But a shape-shifting enemy is moving against them. Hunting down their foe amid London society, Vastra is driven to distraction and the gang ousted from their home before a final confrontation. So the 3 stories are I Married a Shapeshifter by Alan Ronald, A Passion for Fashion by Helen Goldman, and A Final Problem by Lauren Mooney and Stuart Pringle. I Married a Shapeshifter has the gang visit an old friend in a haunted mansion. Miss Faversham is suffering a mysterious malady, and her engagement to a curious Lord Briar convinces Vastra that she can scent the enemy. As Jenny helps supernatural investigator Harriet Cross catch a ghost again, they discover something far more dangerous loose inside the walls of Briar Hall. Passion for Fashion. Society ladies are losing their fortunes and growing mortally sick, apparently infected by insatiable desire for the designs of an enigmatic hat maker, Monsieur de Glac. With the help of a shop girl, the gang uncover rivalry in the fashion world and a dark trade in cruel importation. They also find that Monsieur de Clock is much more than a flamboyant fashionista. And The Final Poblom by Lauren Mooney and Stuart Pringle. The villainous trespasser has finally succeeded in banishing the Pastordaughters from their home using the most powerful weapon in his arsenal, the bailiffs. Stuck in a seedy boarding house, the gang soon realize something else is afoot. Things are going missing, something is munching its way through London, and it may be the answer to all their problems. These episodes genuinely sound kind of fun. The second one, A Passion for Fashion, it seems like a silly time. Also, Paul McGann's on this cover.
Yep, I was going to say that, yep.
Yeah. Curious, this is a Eighth Doctor story.
Well, this is the second series. It's the fourth box set of a second series. Yeah. So that's a lot of catching up to do. That's like over 100 quid's worth of catching up. So $16.99 for 3 stories. Again, pretty decent.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
And they all sound pretty good as well. They all sounded pretty good. But
if I were to choose a new release coming out next month, I would absolutely go with the season 7 Blu-ray, because that is a pretty decent season. I like the episodes, I like Infernal, I like the Silurians, which we might be doing soon to prepare for the war between the land and the sea. So I'm looking forward to getting into the Silurians eventually with you.
Yeah. I would choose the same. I would choose the same. I have, for all the same reasons, I have no real preferences otherwise for releases coming out. But that is everything we have got in our news document. We have finally made it to the end. So that is going to be us wrapping up the live stream pretty soon. I am just going to go over what is coming out as we enter the month of March for the podcast. So next week, we will be back with a full episode of Who Watches Who, a Doctor Who podcast, as we are covering the Sarah Jane Adventures episode, Curse of Clyde Langer. Langer. Which is a Sarah Jane episode I've never seen before. You said it was very similar to 63 Yards? Is that the 72?
Yeah, it's very similar to 73 Yards, where Clyde Langer is cursed to the point where everybody fucking hates him. He becomes homeless, much like Ruby Sunday in 73 Yards. But this time, the curse makes fucking sense, unlike 73 Yards.
Yes. And then we will be taking a look at Kerblam, which is, of course, an episode written by one of the new writers for Series 2.
Yes.
It was written by him, and I remember it being a pretty good episode until it started just chugging down that Bezos slong. We'll see what happens there with that. Maybe it's better, maybe it's worse upon a rewatch. It's been a while since we covered a Jodie episode. It's going to be good to get back into hating on Chibnall again.
Yes, until the following month we'll be starting to hate on Russell T Davies. So it's gonna be fun.
And then after that, to wrap up March, we will be taking a look at Rose, revisiting an episode we have already covered. It's one of the first episodes we covered on the podcast. It is one of the first episodes. It's the first episode of brand new Doctor Who that's no longer brand new, from 2005. It's the 20th anniversary.
What the fuck?
It's a super old episode now. I actually rewatched it very recently.
So did I. Yes,
it's superb. It
very, very good time. Holds up so well. It's so simple, which is what you fucking need to do in order to relaunch your fucking show. You can't have fucking space goblins and space babies and Rose is a good time for sure.
It is a very, very good time. It's a bit silly, it's a bit campy, but who doesn't love pizza?
It's what you need for Doctor Who. You need to introduce the campiness somehow. That's not talking babies in a fart spaceship.
Exactly. But that is everything we have got. So we will see you next week for the Sarah Jane Adventures. Thank you very, very much. Goodbye.
Bye.
There we go. and then just keep waving until I see us waving on stream, because then I know I can end it, because I'm really unsure about streaming things still. It's so weird.
We should be good to end.
Probably be good to end. I'm gonna hit end, and it's just there we go. End stream.
Can I say racial slurs now?
Oh, it says it'll stop immediately. So give it a minute. No, don't say anything yet, because I don't see it caught up.
I'm joking, by the way, if we're still live. I don't say racial slurs. Much.
There we go. Okay, we can end the stream. There we go. End.